That is the way of the world, especially if you are a leader. And the constant hustle is wearing on all of us. And that is a shift in mindset that we are going to have to find. And what if we could just shift our mindset to help us find fulfillment and balance that we seek? Well, my first guest is here. She knows about this. She's learned about burning the candle on both ends, and she's had a successful corporate career doing so. But then she found a way to have success without losing her sanity and is now shining a light so that all of us can know how we can do the same. And on the next level stage, we have got an artist who began playing piano at the age of 3 and has turned that into an international music career. A leader in his field, he'll share how he's kept his passion burning strong after all these years. All this and more coming up on the Business Breakout.
Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes. And you can rock and roll with an attitude.
Just the way you like it. Yes. Look, in this fast-paced world, we have been led to believe that hustle and grind is the only way. But there are those among us who have found that success can happen on a more friendly and less sanity melting terms. But before I go any further, hello, if this is your first time here, I am Ella Glasgow, your host and the director of Funability at Beyond Virtual Events, where I help established small businesses and companies create impactful virtual experiences. And this just so happens to be a virtual event that I am running live right now inside of Zoom. And we do this on the first and third Wednesday of every month. And I am not here alone. I am here in the room with my guests. Hey! And this is my personal invite to you to join us in Zoom for the next one so you can see what's possible for your online meetings and events. And depending on where you're watching from, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, the link to register will be in the description or in the comments after the event today. So look, we have all succumbed to it at some point. The belief that in order for us to get ahead, especially as women, that we have to play by the hustle and grind rules. But having lived that corporate grind life, my first guest is out here showing herself and others that there is definitely a better way. Please welcome to the Business Breakout high performance mindset strategist, Jenn Adamson. Hey, Jenn!
Friend, how are you? So awesome to be here.
I am so excited that you're here with me today. I've really been looking forward to having you on the show and being a part of what we're talking about today, which, if I correct, isn't it like National Women's Month? Like, isn't it the month for, it's the month for us.
It is our month, friend. Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I know that there's so many things that we could talk about, and we were talking about some things before the show started, but I want to give the juicy stuff to those that are watching today. So I know that you had a corporate career and you went from corporate to coaching. So how did you transition from that successful corporate career to becoming a coach that's focused on helping us women achieve fulfillment? How did you do that?
Yes. So to answer your question, it took a decade. So as with life always does, things take time. But yes, you are absolutely right. I started as a consultant for Fortune 500 companies, consulting them in sustainable business practices. I was really young. I was in my early to mid 20s. And at that age, I thought that was life. And I had based so much of I had been raised and we are socialized very easily to believe that things outside of ourselves bring us fulfillment and joy. And so I subscribed to that mindset as well. And so I thought the more successful that I become, the happier I'll be. So I received it all. I ran up that corporate ladder. I reached all the milestones. I got all the promotions and the accolades, all of it. But for some reason, I couldn't shake off this feeling that something was missing. And that was over a span of 8 years. But towards the end of my 8 year corporate career, I realized that I was so out of alignment with who I was. I was so disconnected to my own intuition that I didn't even know what my favorite color was. If you were to ask me what my hobby was or what I enjoyed doing, I would have told you it was work. And so what ended up being the breaking point for me was when my mental health was in jeopardy. And I realized, okay, this is the red flag. I need to do something different. Not quite sure what at the time. And so what I ended up doing is I did spend a short period of time in India. And I tell everyone, you don't have to do this. You don't have to go to India. My whole mission is to empower people to be able to get into a place of alignment and fulfillment without compromising your ambitions and your achievements, because I am a huge go-getter and I will always be that way. But we can do it in a way where we actually feel regulated and we're enjoying the journey too, and not always focusing on that destination.
Regulated and enjoying the journey.
Yes.
That's huge, because I don't think that most of us think in that way, because of, like you said, we're just kind of succumb to all of these other things that are around us telling us that we should go for the next goal, go for the next thing, and become disconnected from ourselves. As you said, I have had that feeling. Oh Lord, I understand. So what is it that you do then? How are you helping women to be able to not have to go to India, to be able to make that connection with themselves and find out what is their favorite color, and how does that get them connected and aligned with themselves and still be able to do the work that they need to do?
Yeah. So that is a wonderful question. My approach is really unique. So in that 10 years that I shared, I also went back to school to become a nurse. And so I have this background in science, and then spending time in India really learned more of the energetics of how the universe works in a really universal way. And my approach could be vastly different compared to a lot of executive consultants out there, is that I really go from, it's called inside out leadership. So it's really about understanding that not just females, but because my target market is females, we as males and females, we all have this, but understanding that as females, we have something called our intuition that is our superpower. And what I have learned is that the more that we can connect to our intuition, the easier it becomes to make decisions, the easier it is to choose what strategies are going to work, whether we're running a business or we're in our own careers. It really opens the doorway to so many amazing things and opportunities. And we bring it into the regulation of the nervous system, because anytime we're moving towards goals, right? I had mentioned before, I love to achieve. I love to go after my goals, and I always do. But what I have learned is that, why are we going after those goals in the first place? And at what cost might we be compromising other parts of our lives to reach that destination? So it's really important in order to really live this abundant, joyful, fulfilling life. We're not here to always just achieve. We're here to learn how to achieve, while we're also taking in all of the beauty and all of the magic that life has to offer us as well. And I do that through the regulation of your nervous system, connecting to your intuition, and really giving women the tools that they need, because anytime we reach a new level of expansion, it's going to be uncomfortable. And what that can do to our brain is signify, it's the amygdala, it's the fear response. So then we become high alert and we say, oh my gosh, this isn't safe. So then what we end up doing is going back to old familiar patterns. So I give those tools and those techniques to my clients and to my community, and how to reach new levels of expansion while feeling really, really grounded somatically in your own body. And that is how true transformation occurs.
Wow. Okay. So I feel like the new buzzword of 2024 is somatic release. And I have been hearing this over and over again. So I know that we don't have you're going to have to come back. That's just what's going to have to be. Yeah. So, but I want to ask you in the little bit of time that we have left, you mentioned about giving tools to women to be able to help to reach inside and be able to find that alignment so that they can achieve and enjoy at the same time. So what's one thing that you can give those that are watching right now? What can they do in this moment to be able to either release or take that first step toward getting to alignment?
Yeah. So the first step, I'd like to share two different tools to help. One is an actual exercise and another one is a reframe, because we can tell ourselves over and over and over again, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we can affirm it. But if our bodies don't believe it, if they don't feel safe, because our bodies store all the memories of childhood, all the memories of our lifetime up to this point, our brain and our body will not connect. And so therefore there becomes this incongruency or this disconnection. So the reframe for the mindset is to always honor your pace and process, that you don't have to race, you don't have to rush, that where you are right now is perfect for you. And then what we get to do then is how we bring into the body, the somatic component is an exercise that I would recommend. Is there is this really powerful point, I believe it's called the gamut point in acupressure. And holding on to this point anytime that you feel anxious or really high, you're in high alert, fight, flight, or freeze response. This is a great thing to do if you're in a meeting. You can place your hand under the table, and this works for everyone because we're human. Our human bodies we have the same point, whether you're a male or female, and you can bring it under the table, and you can even you can either put pressure on it or you can recite, I am safe, I am safe, I am safe. And what that does is it actually, this point right here sends a signal through our nervous system to the amygdala, which is where we are in that fight, flight, freeze, fawn response. And it actually starts to send a signal of, it's okay, you are safe, you can breathe, you can ground. You're not in immediate threat or in danger right now. So I would say combining the mindset of honoring your pace and process, and then also using the body somatic exercise of signaling that to your body and your brain.
Oh, yes. I like that. I like that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that and sharing that piece for us to be able to find that safety in where we are. And I love that you have made it a thing that is so easy to do anywhere, from
Yep.
anywhere that you are. As you said, if you're in a meeting with someone, obviously you're not going to go do a whole yoga practice before you right there in the meeting, but to be able to, right? To be able to have a tool from where you're sitting, to be able to just take that hand and bring it down. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to know that you are resetting and refocusing your mind to be able to be present in that meeting with them. I so appreciate having you on today, Jenn. This is not the last time that we're going to see you today, so don't go anywhere, okay? Thank you so much, Jenn, for bringing what it is that you brought for us today. And I am so excited to be able to get to know you further, because this is the first time that you and I have met today. And I'm really excited to learn more and more and more about you and being able to even utilize some of the tools that you're doing. And if you're wanting to know how you can connect with Jenn, you'll be seeing her information slide through here depending on where you're watching. It'll be in the credits, it'll be in the description, it'll be tagged. You'll be able to get to her, because what she has to offer is definitely something that you need, especially if you are a leader and you are trying to lead a team, and maybe you've had those moments where you have felt unsafe and not sure what to do in that moment. And having someone like Jenn on your side to be able to help you reframe and reset and realign is someone that you definitely want on your side. So my next guest is an amazing one. He's been a friend of mine for a number of years. I met him when I was living in Orlando, and he grew up in a musical family, and he began playing full time for his church at the age of 13. He was in clubs at 17 and started his band Intensity, which is still going strong. He started that at 19 years old. And of course, he's only 21 now. No, just kidding. He has been going strong with that band ever since. You are definitely going to want his music in your life. Please welcome to the stage my friend, entertainer, Joseph Jevanni.
One, two. Are y'all ready for this? Yeah. Let's go. I'm so glad that I finally found you. Don't know how I ever got by without you. Now that I got you, I'm never gonna let you go. You and me together paints a perfect picture, like Da Vinci and the Mona Lisa when I'm with you. Now that you're here, think it's something that you should know. Girl, I need you in my life. Need you in my life. I need you by my side. You by my side. Don't wanna know what life be like. Not to have you in my life, but I know that I need you in my life. You in my life. I need you by my side. You by my side. Don't wanna know what life be like. Not to have you in my life, but I know that
Oh my goodness gracious. We need Joseph in our life. Come on out here, Joseph.
Hey, hey. Thank you.
We need you in our lives.
Yeah, we all need each other. We all need each other. That's real.
I love that song. If you want to hear more of Joseph's music, then you need to go to josephjevanni.com and hear his stuff, because he's got some stuff he's putting down. And I know that you are dropping an album. Is it an album, an EP? What are we dropping? It's happening like March 12th, right?
No.
March 16th.
No. I think March 16th, what I'm doing is I'm performing live at South by Southwest Festival.
That's right.
Yes, and that is, arguably one of the biggest music festivals in the world, and so that's really exciting to be. So March 16th, I'll be headlining on the jazz stage, and there with my band Intensity, and it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Performing at 12 midnight, March 16th.
Bam.
So I kind of think of it as March 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Obviously where we are right now, we're now at South by Southwest, but we had to begin somewhere. So I know that your musical journey started when you were really young. Like you were playing piano when you were 3. So how did you take that love of music that you had when you were 3 years old and move into where you are now, South by Southwest?
All right. So the short answer is God. That's the short answer. Right? It's the answer with one thing. We're all purposed. We're all given a gift, and we're given a purpose and chosen to do something. Sometimes it's very hard to figure out what you're chosen to do. I will say that growing up, I always thought I was going into business, which I guess technically I did, the entertainment business. But I was planning on going to corporate America, which I did for 6 months, and then I quit and became a full-time musician, which is another story. But essentially, I loved playing when I was young. Loved playing piano, violin. When I was in middle school, I started playing saxophone. Then I started playing at church. My grandmother, when I got saved in 7th grade, my grandmother said, "You're either going to sing in the choir or you're going to play piano." And I was like, well, I'm going to go play piano because that's really what I love to do. And a couple of years later, I started playing in another church where I'm swimming with the big fishes. I got to swim on my own now. I'm not there with my grandmother anymore. I got to do this and do it just like an adult would. And so I continued that. And fast forward, I'm graduating college. Like I said, I go off to work at Dell in Austin, Texas. I have a motorcycle accident, hit the ground hands first at 80 miles an hour. Nothing happened to my hands. Praise the Lord. You know, that said, I got a metal plate in my foot. I couldn't walk for 6 months. During that time, I had a lot of time to think and pray. And I realized, yeah, I'm chosen to do this. And ever since I really kind of left that and became just, okay, I'm putting everything in the music, I've been taken care of, and I've been able to actually spread his love and real love through the community and through people who listen to me. And so that's now our mission, is to spread love, healing, peace, and unity through music. And so we're going to do that all over the world.
I love that. I don't love that you had a motorcycle accident, but I love
Sometimes it takes, you know, some people got swallowed up by whales and
they,
taken back
that
to
part,
their past. So,
that part.
you know, but like I say, it's hard sometimes to figure out what you're chosen to do.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know, I listened to your first guest, and she was phenomenal. But I did hear it. She was in corporate America, I think, for 10 years. And in the 6 months that I was there, I was like, something's not quite right.
Yeah.
And also part of that was I met Michael Dell, the owner of Dell Computers, and we talked, and he, unknowingly to him, taught me how to be in corporate America. So even though I didn't have the motorcycle accident, my next thought was like, okay, 3 to 5 years, I got to get an exit strategy. So,
Wow. Wow. If only he knew what he was doing.
well, you know, and and, and I'm sorry. I guess what he did is something that I'm trying to do now. Is another thing that I'm not even sure I told you about. But I'm adding on an educational component to
Yes,
my brand.
I wanted to ask you about that because I know that you're going on tour, and you're going to be going to schools and providing them with workshops on music business, right?
On music business, and let's just say on pursuing your dreams.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
you know, and so what Michael Dell told me was he dropped out of college to pursue his dream. And I'm not by any means telling anybody to drop out of anything. But what I am saying is when God gives you something and that's the thing, and you know that's the thing, then I'm saying pursue that thing with 110% with everything you have. And that's what he did. And look, till this day, even if you don't use a Dell, you know what a Dell computer is. And so when I heard that, I'm like, I don't need to settle for second best. That said, now fast forward, now I'm actually taking the same thought process, sharing my testimony, the other testimonies of the people who are in my band, what we've gone through. We're all full-time musicians. We're all making great livings. We were unknown. You sing, right now, but you're also a host of your own television show. Look at what you're doing. I bet that when you were a teenager, you didn't know that these other things in entertainment were possible. I
Right.
know growing up for me, when I was 17, 16, 15, 13, I was looking at MTV saying, okay, I can either do that or I can be a band teacher or a choir teacher or something like that. But there wasn't any in between. The next choice was pretty much being struggling on the streets trying to, play for change. And none of those real the MTV thing did interest me, but I felt like, all right, if I'm not famous yet, then it's not going to happen. And that was a self-defeating mentality. So even that you have to get out of, because I want you to believe, again, you can pursue your dreams. That said, I partnered up with Polk County School District, and we did 7 workshops already over at Ridge County High School, and they went phenomenal. They're forum style workshops where I present a little bit of music, I present a little bit about my story, and then I open up the floor for questions.
I love that.
Oftentimes questions are, how can we write music now? So I talk about copyright and publishing and give them some resources that they can go and look at this stuff. Because right now you can start this stuff while you're in high school, while you're
You really
13. Social
can.
media has
You
made it
really
so that
can.
anybody can put their stuff out. However, there's a safe way to do it. So
Yeah.
and that said, there are other things. You don't have to be the person who's famous. You can be the person writing the songs for the person who's famous. You can be the person who's mixing the songs for the person who's famous.
Right. Right.
There's so many other things. You can even be the person who's singing the songs of the person who you think you hear sing. So,
Right.
there,
There's so many. Look, there's so, if we the
and so
stories we could tell. There's so many. There's
Right,
so
exactly. So
there's so many
it's you know,
avenues that people don't recognize are available to us now, especially in this particular day and age. And I think, Joseph, I feel like one of the things that you and I first talked about when I got to Orlando was the desire that I had to do the exact same thing and talk about going into the schools and talking about music business and all of those things as well. And I love to hear that you are continuing and doing that mission. And I feel like there's maybe it's a little bit like a 1 degree easier now to convince parents that the kids don't have to have the things that they that they thought they did, and that you really can be a
right,
musician. It's okay.
right. And, and see, and that's why, and so this summer you mentioned we're doing a mini tour, and yes, we are working on the album. We are working on that, and I'll be releasing it single by single. So there's so much going on. But what I wanted to do was kind of go around to the communities that I know already rock with me, and I can kind of get out there and infiltrate them more and try to spread this love more. And what I mean by that is showing them that yeah, there is a way. It's possible, and it's not just in music. It's in anything you want to do. Because honestly, it translates. Like I know specifically about the music industry and the entertainment industry, but if you want to be a gymnast, but believe you can do it and you can do it. Now, that said, I do believe that there is a portion, like I said earlier, of being chosen to do something. So I encourage anybody to, before you just randomly pick something to, pray about it. Is this something that I actually have a gifting for? Is this something where it makes sense for me to contribute to the community, to the kingdom, to help? Because we're all here to serve. Whether you're a singer, whether you're working in a restaurant, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, you're here to serve other people. And without that, then again, what is it about? I need you in my life. You need me in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah,
In your life,
exactly.
excuse me.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so
As your song says, I look, Joseph, because I know I've spent more than an hour or 3 at your piano. I know that we could sit here and talk for hours.
yeah,
So I'm gonna have you come back. Like everybody, I need to have come back. But
I would love to.
I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your insight with us today, because as you said, you're right. Everything that you're talking about translates to outside of music. It's not just music or creatives that can utilize the things that you are talking about. And I thank you for being here with that today. So don't go away. I'm not done with you just yet. Don't go away.
Uh,
Don't go away. Everything that Joseph has been talking about is something that you can take with what it is that you're doing, whether you're in business for yourself or you're working in corporate America or you're working in a small business, wherever that happens to be, being able to find that passion, that purpose, and that calling in that place is something that you can have too. It's not just relegated to us creatives. It's there for you to take on as well. And I want to bring both of my guests back. It was so wonderful to have you both on today. And in the last couple of seconds really that we have for the show, I have a question. I have a question for the both of you. And the question has to do with something that I saw from a friend of mine the other day. He recently posted something about, he was talking about living on the edge of our comfort zone, which is something that I think is important for living our purpose. So my question for both of you is, what is one thing in 30 seconds or less that you could give our audience that could push them just a little bit outside of their comfort zone and closer to their goals? And I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. I am going to eeny, meeny, miny, moe, catch a tiger by his toe. Joseph, you are first.
all right. Well, in my career, that's what I do. It's a daily faith.
Oh no, Joseph, you got muted. You got muted, Joseph. Joseph! Joseph! Joseph, he can't hear us, right? Oh, there he is. Joseph, you said so many things. You said so many things, and you look like you were going to town, and your audio was out. So now we can hear you. Let's try it one more time to tell us in 30, and now you're gone again. So hold on just a second. Let me get to Jenn. Because I know you were dropping gold. So Jenn, the question goes to you.
I can't wait to hear what Joseph has to share too, because I was on the edge of my seat. But I think to kind of just piggyback on what Joseph was saying is any time we're in something that is creative, whether we're starting our own business, we're in music, it's all creative work. And Ella, you and I were talking about this too, of just how it just has to come out of us. It has to spill out. And so just remembering that whatever your calling is, whatever you feel like you've been chosen to do, that it's a gift. So take one step at a time. Baby steps lead to big transformations over time. Remember your gift, never forget it, because the world needs it.
Yes, 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 yes. Joseph, shall we try one more time?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I was not even hearing you. What's happening? All right.
30 seconds and go.
In 30 seconds. This is what I basically am saying. I'm living proof of it. If I can do it, you can do it too. And I really mean that. I had no idea that I was going to be living the life that I'm living, and it's a great life. But that means that I may not know where I'm going to be performing 90 days from now. I definitely don't know where I'm going to be performing 4 years from now. But don't fall under the false illusion that you're safe because you're working somebody else's job and fulfilling their dream. If you need to step out and fulfill your own, go ahead and do that. And at least you know that at the end of the day that you'll be happy while you're doing it. So make that step, keep going, keep believing, keep pushing.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you to both of you for being here today. I truly, truly appreciate the insights that you've brought. And yes, regardless of where it is that you are, you can take that moment to step just outside of your comfort zone. All it takes is one teeny tiny first step. You don't have to take a full leap off the mountainside. You just need to you can step a toe, and you will be surprised at what stepping a toe outside of your comfort zone can do. And speaking of stepping outside of your comfort zone, maybe you are one that has been tasked with putting together a virtual event for your business, a virtual event, a virtual meeting, a webinar, whatever you have been choosing to call it. And maybe it's something that is outside of your comfort zone. It's something that you're wanting to make better and work really well for your business. I want you to know that at Beyond Virtual Events, it's not just about hosting events. It is about crafting experiences with purpose, which is what we've been talking about today, with purpose. Because an event is a stepping stone, and when it's done right, it can transform a single moment into a cascade of marketing opportunities for your business. And I can help you overcome the challenges that you may be facing with your online events. So if you are looking to elevate your virtual presence and turn your next event into a powerhouse of ongoing lead generating engagement without tech headaches, I am here to help you make that happen. And until next time, I want you to keep living outside of your comfort zone. Just step a little toe out every day, and know that everything that you do can go far beyond. We'll see you next time.